What did you say?
Does this have the same properties as a regular raspberry?
No, it does not, which is it does not flop. No, it's really nice about this particular raspberry, and I'm sorry that I don't have, he got a little exposed to the cold, so he's a little not as pretty. It's okay. So, anyways, the raspberry shortcake is really nice because you can enjoy those raspberries on your patio all summer long, which is great. Again, it is a thornless variety, so that's another improvement to the raspberry collections that we do have.
Final question. Will that, you mentioned putting it in a pot.
Yes.
Will it survive the winter in a pot on the patio, or do they have to
It
be
should.
brought in?
It should survive out there on the patio, absolutely. However, sometimes with our root as we experienced this winter where we had such severe cold temperatures, where you might want to protect it, you might take that extra step of precaution to ensure that you are going to get that plant to succeed into that next year, absolutely. You don't have to do that. You can, it's suggested to do that. I have numerous people that I'm waiting to see how they behaved last year in their garden around here, so I'm interested to see how they make out, especially with this hard winter that we just had.
Does it stay in that pot, or do you have to repot it in bigger pots with time?
You should be able to keep it in there. It is going to continue to produce suckers at the bottom, which you will continue to want to prune out so you can encourage that interior growth. So you can continue to prune it, absolutely, as it's in its pot on your back patio. But it should stay at that. What we love about it is that it's really tight and compact. It doesn't have that normal rubrous technique where he does his, arms everywhere. So he keeps it a little more roundy-moundy, which we like.
Do you have to cut it back? Cut it back?
You can, yes, you can.
I asked if you could cut it back.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we did cut ours back, and they are shooting up new growth, which is great. This actually has been in our trade show house, so he's been enjoying living life large here. So, but yes, we did cut them back within with the Connecticut nursery here. We did cut ours back. So.
Would you put it back like in the fall?
Yes.
Something like that, and then
Yes.
so it's re-dried with less on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And how do you feed that?
Feed it once in the spring.
Oh.
Your normal fertilization. You could go with an organic matter. I like plant tone. Plant tone is a great plant tone, rose tone, holly tone. Those Espoma products are really nice. They are organic, which is great.
Spring and what? You do it once a year?
Yes, you can. Now you can continue to feed it compost. If you compost in your garden, you could continue to amend the top soil by adding that compost to your soil.
Room in there, is there all this stuff?
I know. So you have the option of either growing it in the ground, or you could grow it in a pot, which is great. So it gives you both give or take.
Would you put it in a bigger pot? It seems to me that it's all the stuff. There's not much room on it, is there?
Give or take, no. But a lot of people are beginning to go into containers. They don't want to maintain a large landscape. However, they would prefer to maintain a smaller, more controlled environment. So this is, container gardening is huge on the rise. That is what people are looking for, to amend a smaller environment rather than having to over time fertilize and get your pH to the correct soil amendment. Now, when you receive the plant from the garden center, it's going to have, what's cool about Monrovia is Monrovia actually adds mycorrhizae to their soil. Does anybody know what mycorrhizae are?
No.
So mycorrhizae are some fun little fungi guys that they work as teamwork with the root system. So they provide sugars for the roots, and the roots in turn provide a water system for them to continue to bring up water. So these mycorrhizae that are in the soil are actually not for the plant's production in its life in the beginning. It's actually for when you get it in the garden. So that mycorrhizae is going to stay with them throughout their whole entire life. They're going to get it from their little baby liner production. They're going to start this small, and then all of a sudden, you're gonna be this big plant. So when you receive it, it's going to have these special fungi in the soil that allow it to increase its water uptake so it can continue to succeed in the landscape. Monrovia plants are distinctly better.
Only into the plant itself.
Correct.
So that's how you get it. Okay, no, that's one good idea.
Yes, absolutely. Like I said, Monrovia has over 42 blends of soils, which is incredible. I mean, we grow over 23,000 plants now. So there's obviously many different blends of soil that create success with all different plants. All right, so do we have any more questions on raspberries? Okay.
All the way through the summer.
Per pollination, yes, it should continue to produce berries.
Now, do you need another one to post-pollinate?
No, what is great about this Brazzleberries line is Brazzleberries are all self-fertile. They do not require a pollinator. However, if you want to increase your productivity in terms of your yield, you could, I encourage you to plant more because you would be able to not only have maybe an early season fruit, but you could also have a mid and also late season fruit.
Now, is that built into it, or you can buy them at separate times?
You could purchase them all together. You might purchase different varieties if you were looking for a like an orange raspberry or a black raspberry instead of the red. So yes, there's multiple different varieties that you could use to extend your gardening.
Once you've had a flush of fruit, because that's the end of it for the summer.
It shouldn't, no, it will continue. For this raspberry shortcake, it is known for its continuous fruit production. It has been innovated so many times that this is why we love this plant. Okay, so let's see.
Oh, to get throughout the whole season, do we get 3 different varieties?
You could absolutely get more varieties. I encourage you to continue to purchase more varieties. Don't go crazy that you can't maintain it, but enough that you could enjoy, you know, an early fruit, a mid-season fruit, as well as a late season fruit.
So this is the same, by having them in containers, you have to water them a lot.
Consistent water is great. A quality water, not a splash here and there, a quality water. Yes. No splashes here and there from your irrigation. Okay. Okay, so. All right, we're gonna jump over to the jelly bean blueberry. Now, I really like this one because it's only 1 by 2, which is really nice. Let's see, jelly beans right here. Okay, so what is really nice about jelly bean is because it is really nice in a container. That 1 by 2 tight, compact plant will provide you with continuous fruit, which is great. This line, like I've been saying, has been innovated over time. But what's also nice about this, I believe the zone is, let me double check, 4. So that's even better. We want that cold, the ability for the plant to to live in those colder climates. So with our colder winters, this might be something that you would be more interested in rather than a zone 5 or 6 plant. This can withstand those colder winters, even that colder climate. In the container on your patio, those root temperatures aren't as sensitive, which is great. So, what did you say?
You're saying that things are fine on the patio.
Exactly.
Open back.
Yes.
Would that have anything to do with it? I mean, some people have the windbreak around that way, but some of us don't. Some of us have very open homes. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't make any difference where it is.
No, I'm just talking about containers because that's the new thing that is on the rise, is container gardening. People want to have those beautiful fruiting trees when they're outside on their back deck enjoying a glass of wine with their friends with cheese and crackers. We want to talk about these plants. We love them. These plants are meant to be front and center because of their productivity and their ability to produce the fruit that they can. So, let's see.
I have a question.
Go for it.
I grew up with a term called, which I'm sure they say something else today. But a plant becoming root bound,
Yes,
meaning if you pulled it out of the pot, it's just a mass of roots.
yes.
Am I guessing correctly that these plants have been bred to eliminate that since they are meant for containers?
I'm not positive on that. However, the root systems on these plants are, I don't want to make a huge mess, but they are not as frivolous as one would imagine, yes. I'm not positive in terms of their root production if they were meant to be particularly bred for those reasons, but they do seem to have a slower root system. Blueberries in general they do have a shallow root system, so they require more water. Not drowning in water, but a nice quality water.
Am I guessing correctly that you'd want to, as with many plants, you'd want to water them from the bottom as opposed to the top?
I'm no foliage spraying, of course. We want to water the soil, not the leaves. So let's just stick to watering in the pot. But yes, you can water that way, absolutely. That's another possibility.
I probably have a tray under it.
Yes, there you go.
I water in the tray.
Yeah, there you go, absolutely. That's another way of absolutely doing it. You got it. So, let's see. So what's really nice about this is the jelly bean. I've actually kind of been thinking about it in terms of replacing my boxwood hedges that I have and keeping this cute little 1x2 blueberry as a native planting. And even though it's not evergreen, I would like to continue to add it as almost a hedge work because it's so small, it offers those blueberries. It would continue to add to my pollinator garden. So I'm excited to add this guy into my garden this year because of those cold climates that it can tolerate, as well as the extreme fruit production that it produces. All right, let's jump over to the blueberry glaze. This guy is a little bit different as he has some smaller, much smaller leaves than one would normally expect on a blueberry. This is the blueberry glaze. It has a much more thin leaf, has a much more shinier leaf. Now the blueberry glaze is a much darker blue, rich blueberry blue. Pie out of the oven, this is a blueberry that you're going to want to use. It has that really nice voluptuous taste of a nice blueberry pie coming out of the oven, and it will just coat blueberries all over the stem, which is just incredible because that's not what you're used to when you think of a blueberry plant. You know, you don't think of it being so small and as so productive. So this is another great add to your patio gardening or into your landscape. All right, go for it.
I'm thinking that these with the fruit are going to attract animals of some sort.
Are we telepathic? Because that's where I'm going next. Okay. So, upon a successful planting of your blueberry plant, that will allow you to have fruit for at least 15 to 20 years, which is great. Now, our biggest threat to the blueberries are birds. So, we have a few options. We can either place some netting over the plants. Now this might be more achievable in a patio container where you could just stick a couple of sticks in there and drape a netting over it so no birds would get into it. But in your landscape that might be a little more unachievable. You can again do those nettings. There's a lot of people that are actually creating their own blueberry gardens where they are creating cages for the blueberries and all their fruit to go into. So it's its own separate environment that the birds don't go into, that you don't get that lack of yield because of those. Okay, so that's another option. We do have insect problems with blueberries as well. So we also have a borer that will feed on the blueberries and make it a nice black lovely color and produce some lovely fungi on it that are pink that we don't necessarily want. Now, if we do start to notice any sort of cankers, which are brown brown gall-like forms that are going to grow on the lower area of the blueberry, we want to remove those. We want to get rid of it. We don't want that. Those fungi properties that are within those spores that are on that gall can infect the rest of the plant. So we want to remove that. We want to remove as much as the damaged area as proper. We want to prune those out, those damaged areas out. Just dispose of it in your trash somewhere else. You wouldn't want to compost that at all because you don't want those fungi to return to your garden and infect any other plants. One of the other issues that we do have with blueberries is chlorosis. So blueberries will have the ability to, if they are in too alkaline of soils, so blueberries are acidic. They like the pH of 5 about. So if they're in too alkaline of soils and their pH is too high, they might start to show some yellowing in the leaves. And that's just telling me that they aren't able to take up the iron in the soil due to the pH. So that might mean that we need to amend our soil. So by doing that, we can incorporate some ammonium sulfate. You could use a powdered solution. That's what I like to use. It reacts the quickest. So you can add, however big your plant is, and on the instructions on the back of that product, you can add like a cup of it and work it into that soil, but you do not want to fertilize all at once because that would shock your plant. You know, you can't just give yourself a bunch of amoxicillin and think you're going to be good to go. No, you can't do that. So the soil likes to be amended over time. No instant gratification here. You might send them into shock. Yes, now you could add more soil, like you're saying, absolutely. If you're planting in the soil, you're going to first do a soil test so we know what our pH is. Maybe our pH range is ideal for our plants. Maybe our pH is not ideal and we have to amend it. So over time you want to add your fertilizer, and you're going to want to fertilize in the spring with your blueberries. As the leaves are emerging, you want to add some compost around the bottom of your blueberry bush. So you can encourage even more new growth with those great nutrients that have been incorporated into that compost. Let's see. Talked about my blights, talked about my iron. Okay. So we know diseases can happen in the garden. Blueberry is definitely one of those, again, that you're going to want to clean up any scraps that fall to the ground. You're going to want to pick those up and keep your blueberry free of any debris that has fallen that could potentially have fungal spores on it that could infect anything else on your property as well as those blueberries. Okay, so what's our recipe for success on these blueberries? Well, they want well-drained soil. So we need to have no clay soils where those small particles don't allow for free flow, with like a sandier soil that can allow for that free flow. Because blueberries are so shallow rooted, like I said before, they require a good quality water instead of something that's just splashing them ever so often that they're still remaining dry. They do need that quality water for success. The amount of sun that they have obviously adds to their success. Your soil acidity needs to be in the pH range of 5. So a pH test would be great. Now what's great about, like I've been talking about with the containers, is that pH is already in there. We have people that go around all day. We have a team of people that go around and test our pH of our plants, every single one. So we are constantly watching to make sure that our fertilizer is correct, as well as the pH in our soil. So whatever's in this pot is meant to succeed. So if we are planting this in a patio pot, you know, we might just need our bag of soil in this for the first year. And then after that second year, you could add your compost, do some fertilization. Now you don't need to do any pruning on your blueberry for at least the first 3 years. After that, you're going to want to prune out any of the branches that are cross branching, that they might rub onto each other and infect each other. Anything that is dead or not living, you want to prune that out naturally. Again, if you have compost, we'd love for you to add some compost around the base of that plant to increase its success in the landscape. I remember that. Okay, so blueberries are fun because we get that 4-season interest. We get spring flowers, summer's fruit, fall's beautiful foliage, and then we get to enjoy their stems in the winter, that nice red color. Okay, so I wanted to talk about, I talked about jelly bean, this is my next boy. My pink icing, my favorites. Okay, so lastly we have the pink icing blueberry. Now, okay, we're all buried in snow, guys, come on, look at that color. This plant has exceptional spring color. So instead of enjoying those beautiful reds and oranges and yellows in the fall, we can additionally enjoy them in the spring, which is really cool. So you can enjoy it once in the spring and then again in the fall. This guy gets about 3 to 4 feet. Okay, pink icing is the 3 to 4 footer. So he's not as small as my jelly bean, but I'll take it with that nice pink growth and that continuous fruiting, which is great. So I intend this year to get one of each of these and put them on my patio to to have my edibles on my garden because I don't have the time to care for them in the landscape. I don't have the area to do that. I don't own a house yet to do that. So for me, this is a great way to continuously have my plants and continuously have that fresh fruit around me. So at the bottom, I just put some fun facts about Monrovia because it's in your backyard now. We are Monrovia. We were formerly Imperial, which you guys I'm sure know. Monrovia now is a nationwide company. We have growing locations in California, Oregon, Georgia, and now Connecticut. I did add, there was a little cell phone card. Now you can actually purchase plants from Monrovia, which is really cool. We now have put purchasing in the hands of the customer here. Now we're not taking away any business from our customers. You know, you can still go down the street and you're actually going to go to shopmonrovia.com. You can order any plant that you want on there that says shop now, give or take. And it increases your ability to purchase any size that you want, big or small, which is great. And you can actually pick it up at whatever garden center is participating within that program. So likely your favorite garden center is in this program and you can go pick up that plant, which is really cool. So it might come all the way from California, it might come from Connecticut, you never know. But whatever you're looking for in terms of succulents, cacti, those things are available out of our other locations that you can go in and you can pick it up through maybe Bosco's down the street. But then you can continue to shop and buy more plants because we know it all doesn't start at one or stop at one. If you're like me, you have a problem. You have to have more. Yes.
Our 4-footed friends that we have around here that are in our yard, like, you know, after midnight until about 5 o'clock in the morning, how do they love those plants?
I'm not quite sure in terms of how they are.
I'm talking about deer.
Oh, I know.
And bears.
I'm new to the bears, okay. I'm new to the bears, okay. So deer, I'm not positive on that, but I know, I'm with you. I don't want to say they won't because I'm sure they will.
I know they wouldn't even use a knife and a fork.
They're hungry. It's been a long winter. Come on.
Well, for us around here, They love what we plant.
Does anybody have any questions? Lay them on me. What do we got?
We had chipmunks,
Okay.
and I had a giant tomato thing, and it became like a drama every day. It's like I did it up in netting, because it kept swinging around. And, you know, I couldn't kill it, so I had to cut it out. I mean, that was just totally ridiculous. I'm never doing a tomato plant ever again. So, I mean, what do? Do you think they'll come up with these things? There's fruit on there, they're coming.
I would imagine so, absolutely, that those are.
And you're saying drape it with this. I draped everything that I knew of. Exactly.
I'm thinking I might enjoy some blueberry flavored beer. I don't know.
I won't talk about my practices.
Yeah, right.
I love a good venison stew.
Amen.
Good.
There's two. There's only two apparently. And they dash back and forth. They don't seem to produce anymore. It's just the same two going. But when one got caught in the net, and the other little one came over and laid under the to keep it coming. And I think, oh God, I can't feel it. And I'm waiting for my husband to
Introduce you
come
to a
home.
pellet gun.
Oh, see, good. Okay, see, I didn't know how far it can go. See,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Take it out.
We don't have chipmunks.
No, my husband wasn't going to either, so he was sitting there, and I said, well, I'm waiting for you, and he said, I'm not killing it. So I said, right, and I got the scissors, and I went, he said, what are you doing? I said, I'm cutting it free, because the other one's waiting underneath the stepping. And I just said, what the hell am I going to do with this? I mean, I'd love to have these things, but I know what's going to happen.
And I understand that. The other thing that people are starting to do, and the other thing that's on the trend, if you will, is that people are building those enclosed enclosures with lumber and fencing. I know.
I just thought, oh, this would be lovely. I have a potato garden.
Yes.
And everything else. And then I realised I've got so many damn pests, we're never going to get them. I'm sure the pup is wonderful, but so they have deer resistant and gerbil, these things.
All right, we'll keep that in mind for the next one around.
Yeah.
I don't know. I used Irish Spring on our green bean, our pole beans, and it kept the deer away.
Actually, yeah, what we've had much success with at Monrovia down the street is actually we hang. You can get hair from a hairdresser or your own hair, and you can hang it in a sack. We don't have any deer touch any of our hydrangeas, nothing. We hang them all through every single one of the greenhouses that the deer love to chew on. So, and I can vouch for it. I've seen the deer; they're there. So, but yeah, that hair seems to be working. I don't know what we do, but our plant healthcare craftsman is amazing
Mark
with that.
also uses some kind of a mint spray.
Yes, that also works. There's a new one on the market that's like a cinnamon spray that is really nice.
Yeah, that one you have to put on very regularly.
Yes.
Then there's the other one that smells really bad.
That's
That you don't have to put on so
On your edible stuff, the box, do you put box in your edibles?
You don't have that. Put it on pastas,
Yeah, do you
absolutely.
put it on anything edible though? Are you supposed to? I don't even remember.
Well, I do before they produce
Okay. Yeah.
fruit, before they produce vegetables,
Yeah.
like beans and things. And that's when I resorted to the Irish Spring.
Once they started
Just
producing.
hang the bars up or
Mhm.
something. Right
Yeah,
now.
I just took a drill and drilled a hole in it and tied a string and tied it, you know, on the trellis that was supporting the,
And that really worked.
and it
Mm.
kept the, I
So
didn't have
when it
any
rains,
more,
does the soap go into the ground and affect the stuff
or it goes onto the plant.
to the bottom?
It didn't bother.
No, it would probably act as a soap, like a beneficial soap, maybe, perhaps. Another, along the Irish Springs, I've heard people shaving the Irish Springs too throughout your property. There's,
It's special to the Irish Spring, you couldn't use ivory or.
no, special to the Ivory Spring. They don't like that minty smell. It's weird. They don't like it. No.
It is a strong concept.
Yes, it is.
And it's bad for your skin.
Oh, good.
Regarded with it.
Where else do you
You go to Bosco's, anywhere else locally?
Locally, I haven't really been in the area long enough to find anywhere that I'm like, yay, I'm going there. So yeah, I
But
stick.
you do not sell retail out of
We do
your-
not sell retail, but like I was saying before, that Shop Monrovia is great because you can go online, you can start an account, you can receive the Plant Savvy newsletters. I put some of those up there that you can continue to see what's new and growing in the landscape, if you will, and you can purchase the plants online, like I said, and it's not at all to put the garden center out of business. It's to get you in there, but the garden centers might not be ordering what you exactly want. You know, that might not be the product that they pull in the most of. So when you order those plants and they that rare plant that comes over with their regular order, they can see what you might be interested in. That might be something that they begin to carry, which is really exciting. We've heard tremendous success with all of our customers throughout nationwide with this program. So we launched it last year very quietly. We didn't do any marketing or anything behind it. We just kind of did it as a quiet launch. And now this year we're going full force into it because we had such success. So
That's shopmonrovia.com.
you got it. Yeah. So yeah, we're in the program. Woohoo!
There's little cards back there.
Yes, they are. I know. Little phones. Yes. We keep it fun.
Is there any plants that you have this year that are relatively newer that is something that?
Oh, okay. All right. Do we like perennials here?
Yes.
Okay. So the new Agastache Hyssop. Now there's a new one that is called, my favorite one right now is called Tango. But they have a new Agastache Kudos series, which they're really small, excuse me, nice 14 by 14, nice moundy roundy, like catmint, but they actually don't self-seed whatsoever. They are in color all summer long. No deadheading, no fertilizing, nothing.
What's it called again? What is it?
I believe it's a zone 6 or 7, or 6, yeah, no, I have it in my garden. No, I have it in my garden here.
Oh, it is?
No, I have it in my garden, it's super hardy, but.
Is it this plant?
Yes, but it's small. No self-seeding. Nope.
Can you spell it?
Agastache.
APA.
Stache. And then Tango. There's Kudos Gold, Kudos Coral. There's these crazy colors available. It's so exciting. But I actually had one perennial Agastache Tango in a pot all summer long. Never watered it. Never looked at it, didn't do anything to it, and it just flowered all summer long. The hummingbirds were all
In a pot.
over it.
What color?
I did the Tango.
And that's what color?
I was like an orange peach. I'm an Agastache freak. I'm gonna get every single color in my garden this year because that color, it was like an annual. It bloomed all summer long.
And then what did you do at the end of the season? Did you bring it in?
Nope.
bucket, or-
I dug it out and planted it in the garden. So I think I planted 6 of those last year down in Cape Cod at my parents' house, but it bloomed all summer long, which was really nice.
Did you get the right spelling? S-T-A-S-T-E.
Agastache. Agastache. Hyssop.
Okay.
Yes.
It grows in shade.
It can do the part, yes, absolutely. It can do that part sun, which is nice. He's a little flexible. He's a little forgiving, so. But he will tolerate that full hot sun, neglect, which is nice, yeah. But it's kind of like that catmint in terms of the habit, that it's consistent pushing color all summer long. It's, as far as I'm concerned, I thought it was an annual because of its flower power, super flower power. Let me see if I can think of anybody else. Let's see, shrubs. Little devil. We have the Sonic Bloom Weigelias, which are, it's a Weigelia that is going to bloom all summer long. And it's the Sonic series, S-O-N-I-C, Sonic. We have Sonic Red and Sonic Pink. So those are Weigelia that would continue to flower all summer long rather than that maybe sporadic throughout the season, and spring flowering, fall blooming, and then sporadic in between. This is going to be one that continues to flower, which is really nice.
Are they smaller versions?
I believe they are. I can't pull out of my brain what the size is, but I do recall them being a smaller size, which is really nice. So yeah, that was a good, that's a hot one on the market. So yeah. Monrovia has the blue enchantress hydrangea, which is, it is the same exact thing as the endless summer hydrangea, that blue beautiful hydrangea that you like, but it actually has black stems. So it's very rich. The blue enchantress hydrangea. It's a macrophylla, mop hydrangea.
Regular plant, it's not in.
Correct, you got it.
So it grows just like the regular blue ones? So
They were in the same exact family. Same exact family. This one just mutantly had black stems. So those black stems create an incredible contrast with that rich blue in the landscape. Instead of ignoring it and kind of looking at as that green as a full salad, you notice those stems. That contrast really sticks out with that blue. It's a really nice color.
What's the dark one you said in the beginning?
The blue enchantress?
Yeah.
Yes.
What was the one you said before that? Something. Oh, was it?
Well, everyone always wants that enchantress. They want the endless blue summer. They want that blue hydrangea in their garden. Let's go with Cape Cod, for example. They have to have that blue hydrangea, and this is in the same exact family, so that offers the same exact blue flowers, that same style, except for black stems, improved.
Which would be good winter interest.
Yes. Absolutely. There's a few new hostas out there. There's, I think, a cherry berry, it's called, and
Candy, that is.
I know. Oh, goodness, Connecticut, you guys are killing me. God doesn't have these problems. Okay, so, but that one's really cool because it has a reddish flower, and then it actually, as it passes, the stalk that the flower comes up on is red too, which is really cool. Instead of seeing that gross kind of green guy that comes up that you just clip off, it's red, and then as the flowers pass, it continues. The flowers actually remain that pink red color, which is kind of cool. Yeah, so that was cherry berry hosta.
What are the leaves look like?
They're very narrow, kind of like a neon yellow and green white. Interesting. That was one of my picks. Do you guys like larger hostas? You know, your 3-footers? There's an Olive Bailey Langdon, and he is a 2.5 to 3 foot hosta that he's this really olive green, like super olive green with a weird chartreuse yellow through it too. So that one's really interesting. That one's a newer, larger. So that was Olive Bailey Langdon. I know, I can't keep track of them. All right, so we're going to talk about kumquats. Now kumquats are actually native to China, which is really cool. Now, these are zones 9 to 10. They like the full sun, but they can tolerate that partial shade, afternoon shade. The kumquats are actually edible. Once they ripen, the rind itself is edible as well as the fruit. And we can grow them into patio trees where we have them grafted up here, and as well as we have them in a smaller, regular bush size.
Are they self-pollinated?
Yes, they are. Thank you. They are self-fertile. They will pollinate themselves, which is really great.
And will they stay in that container their whole lives?
They will. They will stay in that container if we choose to keep them in that container. Right now, these guys came in, I think, July of last year. There have been sizing up from little baby guys. We got them from California because of citrus laws in Georgia and California. Connecticut is one of the only locations now carrying citrus that can ship throughout the United States. Georgia cannot ship citrus out of the state. Same thing for California. So
Disease reasons or
it's a law, yes, the canker. multiple agricultural reasons, give or take. Okay. So again, that's zone 9 to 10 for success, yes.
So does that need to be brought in the wintertime?
Yes, absolutely. Now it can handle full sun inside your home with a higher moisture.
Boy. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you. Thank you.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.